fine," Leah told the startled couple, whose tent lay only 10 feet away from her own, on that quiet, still night of July 6, 2021. "It huffed at my head a little bit, but I was able to shoo it off without any issue. He's probably just looking for treats. It's fine." The eerily confident last words of Leah Loken regarding a 417-pound grizzly bear Bruin who stuck its nose into her tent at around 10 p.m. The couple hesitantly zipped back up their tent. The dark, mysterious night wasn't finished yet with its evil mischief. What's up, guys? Iceman here. So it almost pains me to bring this story to your attention, but I think it's important for all of us to know and realize how this situation came about. But yeah, this lady was mauled to death in 2021 in what would be one of the most horrific grizzly bear attack incidents in modern history. But before I get into it, I'd like to thank you guys for all your support on this channel. And if you want to help me out, you could like this video, hit the thumbs up button, subscribe to the page, and hit the bell so you're notified next time I post a video. And if you want to support me further, you can become a channel member or a patron. Links in the description below. But let's get into this harrowing tale. Leah Loken was a beautiful woman with her whole life ahead of her. Cycling was one of her daily activities, which is why she embarked on this western Montana adventure. It's important, while camping in grizzly bear country, to keep food and toiletries out of tents, properly store unattended food, toiletries, and other human attractants in a certified bear-resistant container or hard-sided vehicle. Dispose of garbage in provided bear-resistant containers. Otherwise, take it with you and dispose of it properly elsewhere. And for residents in the area, it is advised to not tolerate the presence of bears near your residence. Chase them away at every opportunity. Never feed wildlife, especially bears. Bears that become food conditioned lose their natural foraging behavior and pose a threat to human safety. Miss Leah Loken from Chico, California, was killed by a grizzly bear at a campground in Ovando, Montana on July 6, 2021. Miss Loken had been on a multi-day bicycle trip through Montana with her sister and their friend. They rode into Ovando on July 5th to stay the night. Miss Loken decided to camp behind the museum next to Kim and Joel Cole, acquaintances they had met along the ride. At approximately 3:08 a.m., Miss Loken and the Coles were awoken by a bear near their tents. They all got up and made noise, and the bear left the area. At that time, Miss Loken moved food, packaged snack foods, and dried lentils from her tent into a nearby building and took bear spray into her tent. After returning to sleep, the Coles were again awoken by noise at approximately 4:05 a.m., and they realized that Miss Loken was being attacked by a bear. Ovando is a popular stop over along the Tour Divide, an annual self-supported bike race, and throughout the summer, thousands of bicyclists stop in Ovando to rest, camp for the night, or stay at the hotel and eat meals at the restaurants. The Tour Divide follows the Great Divide Mountain Bike Route, a 2,700-mile-long route that is 90% off pavement along the Continental Divide. After going to bed earlier in the night, the Coles were awakened at approximately 3:08 a.m. by Miss Loken crying out, "Bear! Bear!" The bear was several feet from the two tents, exploring the area. At the time, Miss Loken became alerted. Joe and Kim Cole both had counter-assault brand bear spray with them in their tent. They woke up. Joe grabbed Kim's bear spray, and they both began making noise. The bear walked off to the north, into the field area behind the Ovando store, and the bear spray was not used at the time. Miss Loken said, "The bear huffed at my head," and then got up and moved 2 bags of food from her tent into a building known as the Old Jail at the museum, which was the building next door to the campsite, approximately 25 to 30 feet from her tent. She also took a can of Frontiersman brand bear spray into her tent. The Coles did not have any food in their tent. The Coles asked Miss Locan if she wanted to stay in the hotel, but Miss Locan stated no. She wanted to stay in the tent. They all went back to bed. At approximately 4:05 a.m., Joe Cole was awoken again by a noise that made him realize Locan was being attacked, although she had not yelled out. He immediately started yelling, "Bear! Bear!" He unzipped his tent while yelling in a roaring-like voice and deployed his bear spray as he crawled out of the tent. Kim followed him and began blowing her whistle. The dark shape of the bear was just on the other side of Locan's tent, pouncing up and down on Miss Locan and her tent. As Joe approached, continuing to spray, the bear made eye contact with Joe, then averted its head as they approached closer, turned, and left. The back of the tent was still standing, but as they approached, they could see that Miss Locan and the tent had been dragged by the bear approximately 8 to 10 feet, and Miss Locan was half out of the tent and sleeping bag, showing no signs of life. The Coles immediately ran to the store to wake up guests for help. There is no way of knowing how much bear spray the bear received, nor what impact the bear spray may have had on the bear. However, it is obvious that the bear left the attack scene because of Joe's aggressive response and action. The bear made no attempt to defend the body. Powell County coroners Lynette Renfro and Heather Gregory conducted the on-site examination of the victim and noted injuries on the victim included severe lacerations to her neck, head, shoulders, and back. The bear had not fed upon the victim. The coroners also collected a blue long-sleeve shirt worn by the victim during the attack as evidence. There were numerous bite marks through the materials and rips from bites. The distance between canine teeth on the bite marks on the victim's shirt were 2.5 inches. 2 dried blueberry bags containing toiletries and other personal items were found inside the tent. The bags still had the scent of berries on them. No food was found in the tent during examination. Numerous food items, including beef jerky, crackers, seeds, trail mix, granola bars, electrolyte drink powder and tablets, and a baked potato wrapped in foil, were found in the saddlebags of the victim's bicycle, which was leaning against the back wall of the museum, approximately 10 feet from the victim's tent. Examination of the tent revealed numerous bite marks and tears from the bear breaching the tent. The victim's journal and cell phone were collected from the tent footprint. A journal entry from July 2nd described that the victim practiced deploying bear spray after observing bear signs in and around the area where she was camping at Holland Lake, near the town of Seeley Lake, Montana. Also, inside the tent was the safety retention tab for a can of bear spray. An almost completely empty can of Frontiersman bear spray, black with a white label, and missing the safety tab, was found under the tent. This can was assumed to be Locan's. The can had a fresh, oily residue on the outside and had a strong odor, suggesting it had been deployed the morning of the attack. While the attack scene was being processed, the rest of the response team began searching by foot and vehicle in and around the south side of Ovando in an attempt to locate the bear and to prevent it from coming back into town. Culvert traps, baited with deer and elk meat, were also placed at the scene of the fatality, and the immediate surrounding area was closed to the public. A trail camera was also set within view of the incident site to monitor for the bear and document any activity at the trap site. There were several reports of dogs barking southeast of town and north of town shortly after daybreak, and a lone grizzly bear was spotted several miles to the west of town around 9 a.m. At approximately 12 a.m. on July 9, 2021, a bear matching the description of the Ovando bear returned to where a chicken coop had been destroyed on July 8th. Wildlife agents shot and killed the large bear as it was actively destroying a chicken coop. the bear had been shot 5 times, and the body was sent away for DNA sampling. This bear indeed turned out to be the one that killed Leah Loken. Prior to the death of Miss Loken, there had been no reported grizzly or black bear activity or conflicts in the town of Ovando, Montana, that year. After the event, there was an unverified rumor around town that the bear may have been in town several nights prior to the attack. On July 10th, however, 2 adult male grizzly bears were videotaped at a neighboring ranch approximately 5 miles to the north of Ovando. In that incident, the 2 grizzly bears were videoed at night on a remote camera after a chicken coop had been hit the night before. Both bears appeared to be young adult males in the 400-pound range. After this unfortunate incident, many recommendations were generated. In towns, communities, and municipalities assumed that grizzly bears could be anywhere in western Montana, even in residential areas. Towns, communities, and counties should consider enacting food storage regulations or ordinances to reduce attractants on public and private lands throughout grizzly bear occupied range. Towns and communities in grizzly bear range should consider placing bear aware signs. Jeez, what do you guys think about that story? It's crazy how Leah, after the first encounter, kind of just blew off the situation. And even after her new friends offered for her to sleep in the hotel nearby, she still rejected the proposal. It's just crazy to think how if she would have taken them up on that, this incident never would have happened. But then again, maybe the bear would have attacked the other tent. But at least in that one, there was 2 people, and apparently they each had a can of bear spray for whatever the heck that is worth. It's cray-cray how Leah actually had a can of it on her person as well, but it didn't seem to have much of an effect at all. And the investigators found that the thing was nearly emptied that night. So just imagine the scene where this bear must have quickly barged into her tent. I wonder at what point did she think to haul that can out and spray it? Did she try to shoo it away again? Or what actually happened? She must have sprayed it all over the damn place, but the bear prevailed and ripped her out of the damn tent. And then the other 2 came out and saw the bear on top of her, pressing onto her, just trying to pulverize her helpless body. She barely even screamed, according to witness accounts. It must have just taken her breath away. But yeah, what the hell? I mean, if she actually did spray it and it still didn't stop it, what was going on in that bear's mind? And apparently it didn't stick around to feed on her, although maybe that's what its plan was. I suppose we'll never know. But what do you guys think could have been done differently to avoid this situation? It seems like she was giving the bear too much leniency. If it were me in there, I feel like I'd be up all night after that incident with the bear spray in hand, just waiting for something to come near the tent. But of course, for any of you who have been watching this channel for a hot minute, you'd know that Iceman would have a hand cannon on his person if I were to be in a situation like that. But let me know in the comments what you would have done differently. And I really appreciate you guys for coming by. So again, if you will, like this video, subscribe to the page, and stay tuned for more chilling tales from the Iceman.